Hey everyone, it's Celeste. Wanted to give you a little bit of an update on the cactus garden that I just put in. I have other videos where I actually walk you through step by step how I installed this. It's right over the top of decomposed granite that I have. As you can see, there's a pathway along the side of the house. And I actually walk you through in the video, basically how I installed this right over the top of that decomposed granite. The plants don't care, and how you could build something like this in a little corner of your yard. But what I promised in the other video was I was going to walk through when I got the new boulders, because I didn't have enough, what I was going to do with those, and some reasons why I did that. Plus, also wanted to give you an update because a lot of the cactus that I put in here, they're actually starting to bloom, which is really super cool. So I wanted to give you a little view into some of those blooms and just talk about how everything's doing. So this is the beginning. I had one person that had reached out and asked me, hey, looks like you have a drain pipe right there, what's going to happen when that drains. It actually isn't a drain pipe. It was originally there, and I had it cut, I want to say like year and a half ago, when I had pavers put into the yard. I actually had that cut off. The guy that was the original owner of the house was actually piping water into the house like that. And if you do that, what it does is it actually causes knocking every time you use water in the house as the pressure changes. And so it was causing a bunch of problems. So anyway, it's actually not usable. So it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have any water that comes out of there. So a couple little things. Added a boulder here, and mainly my challenge was that the retention aspect, so some of it was getting onto the pavers. The other was when I dragged the hose along here, and so I needed to have a rock that was essentially helping to support that. I also put in those landscape lights. I like these because they're solar, they're cheap, pretty easy to use. This guy, I don't know, looking a little not so happy about its location, and it hasn't really kind of taken off, which is surprising. I'll show you one of the other other mangave at the other end and how it's doing really well. So that's a bit of a bummer. One of the things I decided to do, I have a cactus, you can see over here in the pot, so I decided to go ahead and put it here because it actually needed more sunlight than it was getting in the other location I had it in. The bloom is a little bit covered up, but it started to close. It opened up a couple days ago, but you get an idea. It's a peach one, but there's some more that are going to be coming out here. You can see right there, the little buds right there. So I'll provide an update when those start to come out, but it's pretty cool. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous plant, and it's always really funny to me when you look at how long that little, it's just really it's a tiny little plant, right? And then it just puts out that big bloom stalk. So that's really cool. So anyway, when it blooms again, I'll show you guys. I just think that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to see. I told you I was going to struggle with not adding more plants, and of course, but at least, I kept sort of in keeping here. So I put in a little barrel cactus, which I thought was super cute. Little baby one. It'll like that because hard to see from this angle. Let me show you this direction so you can actually see that the water is not going to pool. It's going to run right off, and that's exactly what those little guys like. The other is, you can see that I have it tipped, right? So it's at an angle like this. Sorry, my dog's trying to walk through. I had to move the thing out of the way. So it's tipped at an angle, and the reason why is because with barrel cactus, what can happen is if you just set them flat, horizontal into the ground, you can have water that pools right here, and then that can cause it to actually rot. So when you have barrel cactus, if you tip them slightly, then it's just going to run right out, and then you don't run into that problem. So highly recommend you just slightly tip barrel cactus. Sorry, getting my finger in the middle of there. I just recommend that you slightly tip the barrel cactus whenever you're using those. Okay, so this is the little rainbow cactus. And it's kind of like it doesn't look like it too much. The other one does, I'll show you in a second, but they're kind of pink. So they call them rainbow cactus, but that's the bloom, which is super cute. I actually saw the San Francisco Cactus and Succulent Society right now is doing a plant show, and I saw one of these, and they had, it must have been like 6 or 7 blooms that were coming off of just one. So I'm super excited about that. I'm lucky when I get the, the one little bloom here, so I think it'll be pretty cool to, get to the place where I'll get more. So I'm looking forward to that in the future. I think there's some more blooms that are coming off to the side there too. So we'll see. Oops, it's not wanting to show you those little, you can see those little tufts of, they're like little fluff. So something's growing off to the side, so we'll see. And I've got my little cactus. If you watch the other video, you'll hear this was basically a rehoming. There was a person who passed away, and they had this cactus at their house, and so when you're part of a plant society, they have a rehoming program. So basically, they can give people those plants if someone should pass away. They give them to people who will keep the plants, and so it's a little bit of an honor whenever you have these type of plants in here that they came from another gardener who really cared about the plant, and you're going to continue moving that forward. So we got the Madagascar palm in the back, and this guy's looking super happy, so I think it likes its new location. I added some of the boulders along the back hand side. I haven't actually sprayed them with water, so they'll end up looking nicer in a little bit when I spray them with water. But I just watered yesterday, so I need to be a little careful with that. Here in the back, you can see there's the mangave that I was talking about up front. So you can see this one is really starting to take off. I encourage you to go watch that other video and see how tiny this was when I put this in. And this one is called Mission to Mars, and they just fly. I mean, that guy will get, probably almost 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet tall, definitely 3 feet to 4 feet wide. So it'll be big. Eventually I'll be probably pulling it out, moving it to a different location in the yard, and I will also be pulling its babies off and probably replacing with some of the smaller babies. But what's cool about these is they turn bright red, and it'll really like that little location back there. Clearly it does, because it's growing like crazy. And it'll also fill it in, so that whole little corner right there is going to be full of kind of this red color from the plant. These are blooms that are coming in on top of this plant that I just purchased, I say like 2 months ago, from the Plant Society show and sale that they had. By the way, plant societies are, if you're in the United States, you can look up the Cactus and Succulent Society of America, and on their site they will help you locate your local plant society. Almost all of the plant societies have some type of show and sale that they do, so they bring in vendors from all over the place. So in California, for example, we even have some that come from Southern California, clear up to Northern California. So you have the ability to be able to go and pick up some really, really cool plants, and this was one of them. So some of my other videos I showed when this guy blooms, so looking forward to that coming in again. It's going to be super exciting. And then here's that rainbow cactus I was talking about over there. So you can see it's got this kind of like purplish color to it, so they're super pretty. And then weirdly, its bloom, this one is a little lighter pink, so it's super cute. You see that there. And again, this one will probably give me several blooms. You can see right there, it's got that little fuzzy white spot growing, so something's gonna happen there too. So there it is. That's the update. One last boulder I should mention. This one. Again, the problem was, as I'm dragging the hose, it was messing up the design of the rock. So this boulder is there to help to support that. My dogs are just, they cannot handle if I'm squatting down. They want to come over and curl up next to me and get in front of the camera. Sorry about that. So anyway, so this is going to help with being able to run the hose alongside of it. Okay, so that's the final design. It's growing very well. Everything's doing what I expected it was going to do. No casualties. Everybody's happy. And show you from the top so you can see. So get out in your yards, you know, find a little corner that you can do something with. Add in a cute little design like this. Remember, you can start from cuttings. Most of my yard was started from cuttings. Just bought them on Etsy, got them off Facebook, and within a very short period of time, I'm now to the point where I give them away because I have so much. But wanted to give you a little update on what the final design looks like, as I promised in the other video. So as per usual, if these videos are helpful for you, you know, like and subscribe. Ask me questions. If I can answer, I will. And I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.